Good evening and welcome to T.T.V. It's not Reality Bites, it's the Vampire Lestat. Season finale, last track, final stop on the tour of a lifetime. It's me and my entire vampire spectrum at the long table. Episode The Failures, Album 57, Side A, and Album 58, Side A, featuring the song titled Butterscotch Bitch. And we are going to cover this last episode of the season and critique the season in its entirety. I'm Jamie, the mom at the head of this table, but these other three ain't no cabbages. They are David, Christy, and Brian. Hello, folks.
Hello.
Hello, salutations.
I sadly think I might be the Magnus at the table.
Well, friends, what's the overall level of satisfaction you feel about this finale? Grade A, failure, somewhere in between? What do you think?
Oh no, I say grade A for me.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
I give it a B plus. I think they built up a lot of stuff they didn't deal with, and sort of yada yada some stuff that we've heard about all season, and hopefully we'll see that in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was initially kind of hugely disappointed, like let down because it didn't deal with some of the things you're talking about, Brian. But then I thought about it and I rewatched it again because I watched it first thing in the morning, rewatched it again last night. And I realized this is a show that really doesn't do the buy Hoyle thing it's supposed to do. And I liked it a whole lot better the second time through. So I think this is an episode that's gonna grow on me. Although it will not be my favorite, that'll be the penultimate episode of this season.
All right.
Most satisfying, right?
Yeah. I am satisfied with it. It's not my favorite episode of the season. I do like the way that they soft ended a few of the things that we thought for sure we were going to see. I'm not really disappointed I didn't see it because I kind of like the fact that this show never really 100% gives you what you think you're going to get. So it didn't bother me much. I am a little bit surprised by the jump at the end. That's a little bit.
I feel like this entire season, why I think it's an A is like they really did focus on like every single one of his like traumas, and it was like an entire season of therapy for him.
And for me, really.
And honestly, if you really think about it, that is the perfect thing that needed to happen for him and all those around him so that they could be prepared for the next part, the next challenge that's about to come. Imagine if they'd all been fractured and couldn't,
Yeah, imagine if they'd been fractured. Maybe the whole freaking world wouldn't have been destroyed.
I think it's just Montreal. Just Montreal. I think they'll be all right.
Those jerks, they become friends and look at the hell they bring. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's just jump into the episode. First, we're going to start with Louis. So last we saw our boys, heads are on the ground, but Louis awakes to the face of Armand, and he's but a disembodied head facing his body, forced to listen to the confessions of Armand and the capture of Regina. And he is told of the scheming of the century, the need to seek revenge, the need to follow Daniel, the puppetry of Regina and of Alex, and ruining for the sake of ruining. Okay, first of all, can we just talk about Armand's
the puppet man
plans, like the great reveal? How come it is that we know the story for the most part, we know the characters loosely, we know their plot line, but why is it that Armand just keeps being the one that surprises me? Like when we first had the reveal of who was Armand the entire season, and now this, and I'm like, the whole time.
Literally. Yeah, he had quite the revenge streak going on. But I think it's because the way I was thinking about it was in the first 2 seasons of Enter with the Vampire, it was Louis getting his real memories back but also telling the story of this kind of like fake facade of what he remembered, but then realizing these things were not, some of them were not real, and kind of finding that out, figuring it out. Armand really hadn't had his like say. So like they break up, he goes off, and Armand's like, I had a couple of things I wanted to say. And like all along, like they will not listen to him. They drove him crazy, right? He's like, listen, I will not be ignored. I am going to say what I need to say to you. All right. And yeah, we've all had known someone like that in our life.
Yeah. And just the overall sense of like Armand was kind of like Talamasca, actually. Because he's always there. He's always watching. He's always making a move somewhere. But it's interesting that we have the first season told by an unreliable narrator, and second season. We're to believe in the second season that we're starting to get clarity, but realistically, we find out that in the second season that Armand had his hand in all of these things, and then we find that continues into 3, and it's like, this guy's everywhere. He's damn. You know what? Damn it, Brian. I might have to jump ship and join you on the Armand ship because that is some super villain level shit. It's good.
He has orchestrated quite a bit of this, but I like that the flip in this scene is to not just make him evil. And I thought there was a really interesting thing. There's a really interesting parallel between, say, Armand and somebody like Michael Jackson, and that a lot of people are arrested, their development's arrested at the time they have their trauma.
Yes.
And I thought Louis pointing that out to him and saying that little boy was so scared, I thought it was a really nice turn, that they didn't just make him evil, that really just what he bad. Wanted was a true apology. But what I love about this show is the way it tweaks the camp. Is, did you notice what he was, when he was telling Louis what he was giving him? He was giving him his amens.
Right. Right. And Louis like, what's going on?
It's like, maybe not the time for a pun,
I thought it was beautiful how they wrote it, because as Louis in the scene deteriorates, at the very end, when he's finally at the very end, he can't even really speak anymore.
His weakest point of his
he
entire
can't even
life.
speak. Now he's going to speak to Armand telepathically, and Armand is going to say the words out loud that he's saying. So the scene was really beautiful. I mean, the acting there, his face, as he starts
I think this was his best scene in the entire.
It was absolutely his best
series.
He's a dang good actor.
Very much, yes.
Wow. And his face was just beautiful. You could see like the tension, and then like you could see it fall away, right? He felt seen. And gosh darn it, if these writers aren't so dang smart that, okay, everyone was upset first season of the Interview with the Vampire. They changed Louis to be, this Creole man who was a pimp and, ran these kind of seedy red light district businesses instead of being the plantation owner, which would have been complicated. And then they were able to take that background that he had as the abuser, right? Making money off and make that a straight line to Armand and his trauma, and how they didn't talk about it. And he had his own guilt. Instead of just feeling sorry for Armand, right?
Yeah.
He actually had his own guilt because it made him feel some certain way about how he had treated people in his life.
Yeah. Well, it's like the
that's
abusers.
why he didn't want to talk about it. See?
Yep.
Because he would have had to admit that to himself.
Well, and the abuses that he suffered as a child, he was 12 years old.
12 years.
But then Louis like apologizing. It's the apology, I think, isn't even just the straight apology to Armand himself. It's like an apology from the industry that Armand fell victim to, and Louis was a controller in. And it'd be centuries later, but it's the same system. And when Louis apologized for that, and then we hear him use the name Arun, it was like the probably the most honest we'll ever see Louis, I think. But it was interesting because that apology was like bigger than just an individual apology to Armand. I felt I thought it was fairly significant in that way, but it works. I mean, for whatever purpose of sincerity, it worked. Because, like
gorgeous
you said,
scene.
Gorgeous. You could see it fall away from him, and he took a breath, and he got the empathy that he really didn't
you
get
could
through
see
his human life.
He just felt lighter, right? He was like, took that breath, and except he could not carve his initial on Louis' chest
because he's there, right? Because it's still him. He's not.
It's gonna high heel, but he'll have to see it first. Okay.
It's like Zorro, the opposite of Zorro, maybe. But it works, and he sets Regina and Louis.
And boy, did she run out of there quick. So
don't blame her.
Did you guys watch this episode more than once?
I have not.
I did. I watched it twice.
Okay, I watched it twice because in this part when they first pull Regina out, she's talking to Louis and Armando's talking to Louis. It's like two different. It's very hard to keep. So you almost have to watch it once to hear the one conversation and watch it the other again to pay attention to the other. He lied to her and said, this friend of mine, lost his daughter and you look like her, and maybe this would help him get some closure kind of situation, right? Probably dove in her mind a little bit and rattled around. And she was like the perfect person. He found her to go over there. But what did he say? 19 times she had been around him and he hadn't noticed her. And finally he did.
Yeah.
And she's an opportunistic. So she's wanted the money. But I think part of her thought, oh, well, what's it going to hurt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because she didn't know how devious it was.
Well, she certainly didn't imagine the head on a spike in the middle of the kitchen,
or that the threat was going to be that head was going to be in the replacement of her head on her body.
Yes,
like as a threat.
Oh yeah, that's right, as a threat. She told him, I really did like you, Louis. Like she wasn't. Maybe it was an easier job for her than she thought it would be. A little weird.
It was kind of interesting too, because you got to see both characters kind of like, I really hate to do this to you, but it's going to be you or it's going to be me, and one of us isn't making it out, so it better be me. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like it, because at that point he didn't want, like, Louis didn't want this bad thing to happen to Regina, but he knew she wasn't his daughter.
Right.
It just was. And then on top of it, the last time he did see his daughter, she was like, get away from me. I hate you. So,
but she was totally
I really hate that
like,
this is
she doesn't
happening.
need to die for this reason.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is that finally it's her bleeding out, right?
Slowly but surely.
That he, okay. Because boy, he really does not want to admit that to himself.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, his eyes were going. His eyes were falling. They were falling, Mom.
Oh yeah, they were all wonky. The lip was falling down. It was.
I've had days just like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move.
And really funny also how when Armand's walking around Louis' body, he's like taunting him and like poking him, and his body's just like.
And he's swatting at him, and he's laughing like Armand is laughing.
Right? He's having a good time. It's that little things like that. I mean, they talk to Fareed for here and there, like, how's he doing? They're monitoring him, his vitals the whole time. It was a lot of body horror in this, but it was good. I think we got closure for Armand and Louis, right? We saw last episode that Lestat and Louis got their closure. So now, hopefully, they can all work together.
Well, I really do love that, like, Louis' biggest, knew what Armand, we just discussed Armand's biggest human struggle that he carried into his vampire life. And we know like the entire other half of this episode is really focused on a lot of Lestat's. But Lily's, as it turns out, because we've got it twice in this episode even, Lily's biggest problem in life was not being able to admit the truth to himself. Like he could never admit the truth to himself. Like he has a dark side, and he's relied on it.
Like how Claudia was turned, right? The way he wanted to remember it versus how it really happened, right?
Yes. And this entire time that we get this story from Interview, the two different versions of the same story, we comment much about how we see Lestat as a bad guy, and he's doing mean things, and he's not kind, and he's not caring, and he's not thinking about other people's feelings. And here's Louis, always the caring one, the open one, the warm one. And then we find out that Louis really is both of those. He's both of those things, and he finally figured it out himself because of Armand. So
I almost feel like in this show, they have made the characters more rounded as far as, nobody's good or bad. So, everybody's kind of like the sum of their experiences.
Well, certainly more complex.
Much more complex. And I think in a way that we could relate to them. I mean, Lestat, if it wasn't for like the things that you could relate with him on, he would be a big pompous jerk.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But he has his flaws too. He has some, he's pretty great. But
yeah, he's real great.
He's pretty great, but he's also flawed. So
yes,
he's so great. He's so great. The picture behind you shows how great and how much he's capable of.
He didn't.
Thank God he went to therapy.
He didn't do that. It
wasn't him. Okay,
I'm sorry,
let's jump to Lestat. Okay,
yeah,
so we're gonna go to his side of this episode. His conclusions.
If they would have played the what is it, the jive talk, what is the walk thing in the from Saturday Night Live Fever?
Oh, Staying Alive.
The Travolta walking down the street. They should have put that as the undersong while Daniel was walking down the street.
That would have been hilarious,
right?
Realistically,
he had a certain strut to him as he was.
That's great. He's like all happy with his bowling bag. Okay, so with Lestat, boots upside down, birds, the family table in Magnus's tower. While Daniel may have Lestat's head in a bowling bag, we, the viewer, are in Lestat's head itself. As he is dying, and his failures are there to judge. Okay, notes. What do we have for notes from you guys on just the nothing more than just the initial introduction of the table in his mind and seeing everyone that was at that table? Feelings, thoughts, surprise.
Well, I liked when he walked up and he says Lestat, and then the little Lestat stuttered on his own name, and I went, "All right, this is cool."
Yes.
Oh, so good. I mean, we've seen the long table imagery the season before, so it made sense that it was going to continue. Magnus talked to him in an earlier episode about the long table when they're in the car and
they
driving.
were waiting.
I mean, it makes sense we're going to see this long table, and it makes sense.
Is the long table a book invention or is it a show invention?
It's a 100% a show invention. That is Roland Jones, and I think it's genius idea, really.
It is. It's to be able to bring it into like every chapter that they have brought it into. It's what a great way to face all of the different versions of yourself, right?
And like that Lestat, that's where he had his, humiliations as a child at the table, at his father's table, while he was sitting in the chairman spot, right? And then, now he's being judged by, other.
Well, also
chairmans.
When he was the caretaker, remember, he had the long table and he would put on dinner parties with imaginary people.
Yes. So we've seen it over and over again. It's a great little metaphor.
Well, I mean, it's where he was judged most harshly in his life. So of course, it's where he's being judged most harshly at the end of his life.
His own little courtroom of failures. Well, immediately Magnus is removed from the head of the table as he failed as a maker and clearly has no care for consent. And Gabrielle, surprise, is seated as the head. What do you think of this move with Magnus? I thought it was really funny, like a very funny way how Lestat would say, you know what, I'm actually kind of over you. Like, I think I'm moving past that part.
Only his abusers get to sit at the head of the table. You saw that, right? His father, his mother, and Magnus, right? And when it's Magnus, they're in the tower, and then when it goes to Gabriella, she's like, exactly. So you can see, oh, this is all in his mind. None of these are not the spirits. This is just his mind, him kind of judging himself by, himself, but giving them the information, right? I thought that that was very interesting. Only the abusers could judge him. I mean, the other ones were saying their little things, but they were in charge, and they brought back Antoinette. She's over there on the typewriter.
Yes. Typing away. Yeah, we got TC rolling around.
Yeah, TC's there. Oh, because it's
herself.
only his fledglings. It's only his fledglings.
Kicked back.
So he turned TC then?
TC is his.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what that told us.
He signed the birth certificate this episode.
So we know Alex was turned by Gabriella.
His mother.
But we don't know about Salamander.
Yet to be determined.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe
we got to ask Maury on this one.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. So then once Gabrielle is at the head of this, because like I said, Lestat, it feels sort of like Lestat kind of faced the trauma and the damage of being turned without consent. And so it's sort of like this brush away of Magnus, like, really get over here.
And Magnus tells him.
Here's the real problem, actually. It's my mom.
Right. But then Magnus is like, oh, still making like horrible decisions, like making your mom, like not learning from your problems or something. To that effect.
Yes. So then now we have Gabrielle seated at the head of the table, and the first thing we get is the witch trials. And she tells him why. Do you remember why I brought you?
No, a kid won't remember that.
Yeah, kid's not gonna remember that.
They're just like, oh, my friend, my childhood play friend. Yeah, I watched them burn alive.
Yeah, it's just traumatizing. What do you know? But it was interesting that we got to see the witch trial, but then her turning his head towards everyone in the crowd that actually caused this problem for these girls. And she asks, like, who were the real witches? So it's like her first real life lesson to Lestat was like, trust nobody.
This was like a French version of the Harper Valley PTA song. Not to date myself, but it's like everybody in the crowd are full of crap. The minister's full of crap. They're a bunch of hypocrites, and they're doing this. But I thought what was striking is by seeing this, we see those two little girls, and like however you picture them in your mind, like they're just scared little girls up there, and these people are getting ready to burn them to death. And seeing them as being, a contemporary of his, what would that do to you to see another little kid done that? What fear must that have put him in of the people around him and what they were capable of?
Yeah. It is very
well.
It's
and his dad
saying it's really messed up.
Couldn't he do something to stop it? You know what I mean? But his dad,
But no.
What's the use of power if you're not going to use it?
You don't mess with religion. We know that from Game of Thrones, from everything. You start messing with the clergy, the people get the pitchforks.
Then heads will roll, as you know. Yeah. There's just nothing likable about Gabriella. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like, there's just, I keep waiting for being like a little tiny bit of redemption in something, or
I
some
still have not given up
strong
hope
good
that
character.
we will see now that hopefully by the end of this he's like dealt with that. Hopefully in the future, anytime we see her, I'm just hoping maybe, I don't know. I want my book Gabriella. She was like my favorite.
You are a paid
I'm not.
shill for the Leoncourt family.
I swear to God, if you guys read the books, any of you read the books and you get the description of her in the books, you will not hate her. There's none of this.
I actually thought this did a little bit to say that she was a woman who didn't have a lot of ability based on where she was. And she was trying to teach him a lesson, but it's one of those things like, as a parent without emotional intelligence, you sometimes teach your kids lessons with good intentions, but that are horribly emotionally traumatizing.
But
because they probably never talked about it again.
Exactly.
It was like this thing, and then
we're going to lock that out. But to mirror this, we are reminded that Lestat did the same thing to Claudia when she
that was Charlie, right?
Yeah. Accidentally killed Charlie. As a lesson, you have to see it. This is important trauma.
I mean, I bet you there's still parents out in the world right now that are like trying to show their kids, you know what, the fairy tales are nice and but there are things in the world that aren't fair and aren't pretty, and you can't stick your head in the sand about it, right? This is reality.
It's there.
The world is a savage garden.
Oh, if it wasn't for the copyright, I would have started singing right there.
It truly is. Madly, even deeply.
But yes, I also would like to note when the realization that he did the same thing to Claudia happened. We could see it across his face. It felt like his heart broke, like he did the thing.
Right.
His whole life. We all did it, right, in some version. In our version, no matter how rotten or great our parents were, at some point as a kid, we all were like, someday when I have a kid, I'm never going to do this to my kid.
Right. And we don't. We do something else that we also don't realize.
Or you do, and you catch yourself, and you go, oh my God, I'm not doing that.
Turns out it's kind of hard to be a parent.
Or you do, and then you catch yourself after you've been beheaded, and every single part of your personality questions your worth.
Well,
it's weird
there's that.
happens. Okay, so moving on from the witch trial, we see flashes in many stages of Lestat's torrid love affair and years of obsession, of love and neglect. Akasha's blood given to a pimp kills the daughter to save the pimp. Always on the bench. The soul. Y'all missed your mark.
You went too fast.
Do that again. Do it again.
Okay, ready? We're going to do it one more time.
We're going to do it again. We're doing it live. Let's go.
Always on the bench.
The soul.
That felt like you meant it. Okay.
Course number 186.
And then, to quote Miranda's Hamilton, time's up, and the table becomes the stage. In the audience, his failures, his victims, those whose minds he pushed too far. We see Enzo in his sharp suit. We see Black Licorice, unamused. And we get a request for a song. Christy, what would that request be?
Play Long Face.
Now, okay.
The second time it happened, and he says, "Is that you, Dad?"
Is that you, Dad?
What
Which is
an
such a
amazing
great response to a heckler at any point. Yeah.
Okay, multiple things on this. The way that the camera shoots when he stands up on the long table and that long table becomes the stage is really, really great, and it extends itself, and then it's kind of it's sort of like the image that we see at the beginning credits, the opener, when he's walking down the table. So we finally got it. That was the last thing that I couldn't place in the whole
because like every episode it's like, I understand it's really great, right?
When he first got up on the table, I couldn't help but think of that scene in Hair where he climbs up on the table and sings "I Got Life," and he's kind of charismatic, like that guy was, right?
I was feeling like this was, I was feeling that this was very, very Morrison vibes, like the swagger.
But before he jumps up, he's taken all he's taken from them. The alarm goes up, and he's like, snooze. Snooze, because I have something to say first.
My turn.
It was like, you know what? Good for him for being able to pull himself up again, because he was feeling pretty down at that other table.
He sure was. And he delivered such an amazing monologue throughout that. Like, there's so much on top of so much on top of so much, but it played out like a song. It was so fantastic. What a great scene.
You know what? Because in the end, maybe he did fail, but at least he attempted something.
Yes.
And that was more than the other people had done.
And it was so cute because you could see he was
I didn't mean that. That was performative.
Yes. He was trying so hard.
Yeah,
he was trying so hard to mean it.
I'm going to use that next time I say something stupid in an argument with somebody. I didn't mean that. That was performative.
Well, after we get a little introduction of some of his victims, in the last moment when Lestat's about to truly accept his life in whatever self-failures he has, like his life's a failure, acceptance, we see Paul. And he is there to let Lestat know that he is no failure because somebody truly has loved him. And Louis didn't show it as he should. He gets that from his dad. But Paul thanks Lestat for loving Louis the way he needed to be. And Lestat's like redeemed. He's not a complete failure himself.
Yeah, when he was sitting there and you could see this person walking up behind him. And at the moment when I realized it was Paul, oh my God, I was so excited.
That was so glad. Cool.
So cool. I'm so glad it wasn't like spoiled somehow beforehand.
Yeah, it was great.
Because this is this is a person that he probably would have, in hindsight, wanted to get his acceptance, knows that he's an important person to Louis and to have, because these are not the spirits of people there. Do you think that he was there?
No.
Okay. This is all in his head.
What was interesting is you had to think right away, well, okay, is he somebody Lestat traumatized or murdered? And then all of a sudden that changed, the first episode a little bit, or second episode, I forget which one he died in, but you know what I'm saying is
first one. He was in one episode.
Right. Mm-hmm. So even if you ultimately conclude that Lestat didn't kill him, it still was a moment you had to think of it, right? You had to go, is he there?
But I think this completely exonerates him, right? I never thought he did, but because that would just be too heinous.
I mean, it was a mixed bag of belief for me. I wasn't 100% feeling one way or the other, but the moment that we can, I feel like the moment that we're supposed to be allowed to let go of wondering isn't because he's there does something nice. It's when Paul looks off camera and is talking to somebody who's
somebody else
there.
Which is what he did in his life too.
Right.
So you're like, yeah. No,
I feel like somebody is telling him, like, you can go send this message, but then get back here. You know? So.
Yeah. It was also very cool this actor, and I don't know the actor's name, I'm sorry, but how he was in one episode of season 1, the first episode. And he came back and boy, he hit that character again and made me remember things about the character, the mannerisms, the way he held his hands and the way he looked off. And
there was no like, who is that again? I mean, you knew instantly when you saw him.
So as an actor, well done, sir.
Yeah. And I'm doing a rewatch of the first season, as some of you know, with friends that hadn't seen it. So I'm only into episode 4 on season 1. So I very recently just watched Paul, and he just really seriously did just pick Paul up, and and it was a beautiful scene too, with the silver threads and of it all. And
so when the the light starts shining down on them. Imagined? Or was that not the bowling
Opening
bag
of the
being
bag?
opened again? Yeah, they had arrived back
Yes.
at the butcher shop.
I think
that was that, right?
And the
think
silver
so.
threads were his head being reattached.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I really
agree. Okay.
I didn't say anything about this, but the part where they're at the table and Daniel's head comes down out of the ceiling. Louise, all like, you got a hole in your ceiling.
That was so well done.
that was
idea
amazing.
that are we gonna talk about all the Daniel stuff there at the bowling alley?
Yes, we shall. Let's do it right
Do you
here.
bowl?
In the bowling alley, Daniel is there along with Alex, and they are greeted by
Plastic
Raglan.
Dracula Alex.
I love it. I love it. It might be my Halloween costume.
Boo Ridley.
I noticed. I saw the scoreboard for the bowling. Like, oh my god, yeah.
And that's a shout out to Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Kill a Mockingbird. Bo Bradley is the character.
Boo Radley.
Right? Boo Radley.
Bo. Isn't it Bo?
Boo.
It's Boo. Is it Boo also? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
And so yeah, that was really funny. But
he doesn't
talk
about
this.
He doesn't talk. He got the gift of autism.
Okay, but question here. Okay, is it a coincidence that Boo Bradley is innocent in Kill a Mockingbird, though everyone thinks he's guilty? Do you think that that's a foreshadowing for Alex, that will have thought he was in on this the whole time, but he really wasn't? He was just following them around, maybe watching them, but he didn't know the plan. Do you think he'll be innocent?
No, I think
he's just
Armand had him under control the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make him innocent? If he was coerced or controlled?
I think so.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I think it does. I mean, if somebody is controlling your brain in the way that Armand does, it doesn't mean that it wasn't too easy for Armand to do it.
Right.
Obviously. Alex had some issues, and he had some issues against the band.
And I'm going to say, even if he didn't, I think Armand would have been able to, Armand's he's a really devious.
As we've learned, he is extremely powerful. It's good that we keep getting the Akasha blood of Akasha. And then you're like, but look at Armand.
He has the blood.
I feel like he's walking in the daytime and you're not.
Well, I think Alex was his spy, and we hear this night that just as I suspected, they were under surveillance the entire night, and Armand had the plan down and had it set, and I don't know that you could say Alex or Daniel, any of those people are innocent, because he finds people that already have a little bit of
that probably does make it
resentment,
easier, right?
and
a switch he can flip.
He just finds a little crack to wiggle his way into and push them further apart from Lestat, and that's how he uses them. So
it's what a
maybe it's like hypnosis, right? You wouldn't necessarily do anything that you wouldn't do in real life.
I feel like it's similar.
Maybe it's
you see in other vampire culture in entertainment, that is a repeated power source of vampires, is being able to Jedi mind tricks. So
mind control.
Yeah, sort of it must be a power that many of us would love to have, and maybe that's why it's so popular.
But we also find out here that it wasn't just Alex that was following around all night.
No, we had a visitor at the bowling alley in the name of Raglan. Talamasca's been watching. It's been watching. He explains to them that Talamasca really kind of requires Lestat to live, actually. And that the vampire population has grown from 1,600 to 290,000. And with their 1.3 meals a day, it's causing more deaths than births. And the population must be managed. Make more must be performed. In short, save the head, save the planet.
Yep. We need this concert. They've
Okay,
been
was
nudging it
that
along the whole
a
time.
throwback to Heroes?
Heroes, yes.
Maybe.
Save the cheerleader, save the planet.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out
Save
that
the world, I think it was.
when Lestat is kind of like narrating this part, right? Kind of saying that he says about David Talbot, or sorry, Raglan James. He says about Raglan James that he is now his friend, right? At one point when he sees him. So, I'm very satisfied. I love this character so much. Justin Kirk is so amazing, and how he's able to, like, he does this speech. So many good monologue speakers on this show. The monologues are fantastic. But yeah, he gets the head back, and he has like quite a hefty group of people with him.
He always like walks in a room and just immediately like drops a bomb. And then starts going, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, he flips the people over from exactly
Yeah.
what they were going to do to the opposite every time, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
He's a very compelling character, and one that going forward, I think universally everybody probably wants to see more of.
Now, Christy, I start to lose touch at this point after Lestat. I start to lose touch with like Anne Rice's true version of the story.
Yeah, I might have to assign you guys some
I know that Talamasca agents all have a special gift themselves.
They absolutely go out and recruit. When they recruit people into the Talamasca, because it is a secret society, they're looking for people with special gifts.
But not some sort of autism.
No, not on the spectrum of autism or whatever it was.
The vampiric spectrum, yes.
It's some sort of psychic ability, whether it's telekinesis, mind reading.
So do you know as a reader what Raglan's gift is?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, by your laugh, does that mean you probably shouldn't tell us?
I don't want to spoil it.
Let's not spoil it for any of the watchers.
But we already know from, I don't know if our watchers have watched Talamasca, but maybe they have if they're really into this. And we've watched Talamasca. It was pretty good. It kind of gives you some, just kind of like a backstory of kind of like their organization.
There's also a couple of pretty
Let's be honest,
vampires.
we watched Talamasca so they don't have to.
No, that's not. I liked it.
It was only okay.
But
I think you should watch
some really
it.
good characters in there. Jasper's amazing.
That's
he's a vampire. We might see again.
Really cool
I would love it if
vampires,
I would love it actually if we get to the concert at some point next season. If we saw Jasper there, wouldn't that be great? Hanging out with all, because make more. He's got all his people there with him, like holding fort with all his little minions, maybe. I don't know. He was a great character, and then we got more of Raglan James in that one too. And boy, he's a smooth talker.
Really great episode with him.
Yeah, really a great episode.
Probably the best episode of the whole season.
No, yeah.
But, yeah,
because he's interesting in the story they chose to tell of an outsider dealing with the Talamasca wasn't what we wanted. We wanted the Talamasca.
Yes.
But
I mean, it's good, but not great. If you're balls deep in this like Christy, you should watch it. If you're a casual like me, I suffered through. I was by the end.
Was it that bad for you? Oh,
it just was. It wasn't what I wanted. By the end, I felt like
but you got the rain scene to keep you interesting.
Well, I was okay with the end of that season, just thinking, because I was like, oh, they're just getting the ball rolling. And then it got canceled immediately. Like,
well, unlike this show, that show had a twist that I saw coming 18 miles away. So.
Sure, absolutely. So hopefully, maybe that was just a little taste, and we'll see some more Talamasca stories woven in within the vampires, because that would be great.
Yeah, honestly. I agree.
There's some good characters there. And they will kind of come back around a little bit here and there. So
now, before we go on to the final part of this, we are going to take a quick commercial break.
Oh.
So let us pause, and we will continue in just a moment. Okay, I hope your commercials were nice. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope they weren't terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe one you haven't heard 1,000 times today.
So before we went to break, we were talking about the Talamasca and we were talking about the end of the bowling scene, sorry. All those people that were there, yes, Jamie, they would have all had some sort of powers to back up Raglan there. So who knows what kinds of things they were doing behind the scenes.
It felt because it kind of felt like the X-Men just walked into the building. So.
Yeah, they made a little circle and
they're ready to go.
David and Daniel was kind of inside a circle. And so yeah, he kind of just gave up. But he did have to flash his fangs at the end, which was really
cheesy.
It was
cheesy. It's okay. It was a little cheesy.
It was like you have this big, like you go head to head against this person, and Daniel always thinks he's the smartest. I mean, he's yelling at Lestat in the bag the whole time about how, oh, you think you're smarter than everyone, tried to get a Pulitzer like I did, and like all of these things where he's really affected by Lestat. He's got like an inferiority complex when it comes to him and Lestat, I guess. And he's doing all of that. And so you think like, oh, he's really ready to take him on. And then Raglan comes in, they have their little talk. He has to back down so hard that it was just like, it was like when the kids are like screwing around and the older ones picking on the younger one. And then mom comes in and says, now you got to stop. And as soon as mom walks away, the older one just like behind their back, like flips them off because like,
yep. That's exactly what it was.
Daniel was doing at the end. It was, oh my gosh. No one was afraid of your little tan, bang show.
Your creepy vampire.
Why
tan.
the tan? His tan is so bad. Anyway,
it's really, really bad. Why the tan, Dan?
Dan. I love that every time. Anyway, so I think Daniel did not die though, because when they all walked in, did you all think, oh, he dies badly? Is this where he dies badly?
I have totally, absolutely 100% forgotten about him dying badly.
Oh, okay.
Well, obviously that was a misdirect, at least for this season. So I'm vindicated thus far.
Thus far.
I feel like
although they cut away and they don't show what happened in that bowling alley. But I think I agree. I assume like you all, he lived and
he lives.
I think the Queen is.
We're not to that part.
Have yet, more involved in his horribly.
Maybe he dies badly in like 400 years. We don't know.
That's true. He could live a long life.
Well, we don't know, but you might know. But you're not going to tell. You're not going to tell us and the fans. So.
No,
I think we're going to see more Daniel.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, okay. So now Lestat goes from being inside of a bowling ball bag and he wakes up inside of his coffin on the tour bus.
That is the coolest coffin, is it not?
All sewn back together. His hair doesn't look like he's suffered a major life-threatening injury.
I mean, he's got a little like, wound.
He's got a permanent choker now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you know what? He has no interest in this plan of going on stage and performing this song. And Gabrielle's telling him, no, you must. He doesn't want to do it. And he walks to the back of the bus where he has a reunion with a whole entire Louis, who has also been stitched back together. And it's very sweet.
And they sit on those seats that are like the two sides of a booth seat, right? So their backs would be to each other, but they sit sideways and they both put their arms out around each other and they each touch each other's mark. Realize, they had been so worried for each other, I'm sure. And I just thought that was so cute.
I thought it was really sweet. It was very nice. I mean, they had such a nice date, short of the breakdown between the two of them.
And the beheading,
But that whole beheading thing.
Last time they saw each other, they lost their heads. And then they both, in the meantime, have really come to terms with a lot of things in their life. Like maybe Louis is ready to tell him that he loves him now, right?
Yeah.
He's realizing maybe I should stop being such a withholder.
Okay, based on one of my favorite camera shots, I have to say this. They literally can say to each other, I literally fell head over heels for you.
But which one did it first, Louis?
They really did. When
it shows the viewpoint of the head, which I thought was such a great camera shot.
Oh, and they kept going to it because Lestat couldn't make sense of it, right?
Right.
He's like, why was my head on the floor? I know
It'd
everything.
be really
I don't
confusing.
understand.
I mean, to be fair.
I mean, Louis got it real quick when he could see, oh,
there's my body.
where my body's over there, and oh, there's Lestat's body over there on that table. Like he had Lestat didn't have that in the bag.
Well, after this very sweet reunion, we see Lestat in his living room making cigarettes look sexy again. Let me tell you what.
And whatever that rope thing that he had on with the big sleeves and
yep, looking good.
He did make me want to have a cigarette, and I haven't had one in probably 15 years.
That's how I'm feeling. Like 10 years.
You're like,
screw it, I'll have a cigarette with you, Lestat. So he's sitting there and he's recording his failures. Traumatized alive, he says, and then a landscape of utter ruin. And end season.
Yeah, it was that one. It was this right there.
There's the shot. There it
is. So much here. So how they shot when he comes up out of the coffin, and it's still his voiceover. He's telling you what happened, but they acted that scene. They could have just played the scene. There was clearly dialogue there as he's getting filled in, but he awakes to being on the bus surrounded by 45,000 vampires, 10,000 normies, beautifully unwell, surrounding his tour van. Like, I'm pretty sure whether you want to or not, you kind of got to perform. You ain't get out of this on your own. Because if you can fly, I bet you some of them can fly too, you know?
There's probably another flyer in the crowd.
I'm just saying, they might get you. That's a lot. You're a badass, okay, Lestat? But that's a lot of vampires collectively. You know, it's like the one giant duck or 100 tiny ducks, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want this.
You don't want that school of sharks, that's for sure.
So I think he's going to be in trouble. But that when they're talking back and forth, you can tell he's not going for it. He just woke up, y'all. He just woke up. Hasn't even had his blood shower yet. Has not got a transfusion. Where's Fareed? And they're already laying all this on him before the blood. You know,
he's a tired boy. Okay.
But that moment when he's talking to his mom and then all of a sudden you hear him say, "Where's Louis?" Like it dawns on him.
It was really, really great.
That part was really great. His mom really needs him to do this.
She sure does.
So I think that'll be most of her story next season.
Because
we don't really know.
But I am so proud. I'm so proud that Lestat did go through the rambles to put Gabrielle at the front of that seat, at the head of the table. That just
in his dying,
because it's just everything right there. So when I see her again, it's like he knows a little better now. You know,
like he screams at her and he calls her a monster. He's never done that. He's never stood up to her. He's taken her however she presents himself and said, "Thank you, ma'am. Can I have some more?"
Yep.
And this is after all the, dying that he did. He's now able to call her a monster. So I think that he is a lot better person at the end of the season, as are many of our vampires. Gabriella is not fixed yet, so hopefully next season.
It'll be interesting to see how they tell the story next year, because the first one from Louis' perspective, the third from Lestat's. Whose perspective are we going to see next year? And are we gonna find out that maybe everything we saw this season wasn't as it was?
I don't think so. I think this will stand. I think we're at, what was the last tape? 60 of 110. And he says, as he's recording, they've already gone past whatever next season is. Yep. And they're at the point where he's recording the things
for auction.
Okay.
So you think he's going to be the narrator again?
Okay, hold on. He's the narrator again for sure. I think there's going to be the concert. There's going to be whatever happens to cause this destruction. He's in his house. His house is untouched, by the way, right? His house in Montreal is untouched, but everything's leveled. So that's on purpose. Well, I guess we'll probably see that. Now he's recording these things, and these are the recordings that will be sold at auction, at the auction we saw at the beginning of the series, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right. And we still don't know how Armand loses his eye. We don't know how Louis loses a leg.
Right.
Or a foot.
I think the Queen of the Dam is running amok as he's recording these. Yeah. I don't think she's defeated yet.
Like the battle's still going on.
Like it's still happening.
So their prediction on how they deliver our story next season, my prediction is the first two we were going through Louis, and it was all flashback. Both seasons were told primarily in flashback. Lestat, I think, is going to be the only season that we're being told at time, because we get, in his memories, but they were just little tiny bits of memory. The story wasn't told as a flashback. But then
do you think we'll get more of his like childhood and stuff?
I think we might. I mean, if it's prevalent, I don't know that it really will be, because this was all about him coming to terms with his human self.
I can't imagine we would see Nikki again. Why?
Yeah, no. I think he's healed some of these demons through this process. But I mean, I do think the story, there's a high likelihood that the majority of next season will be told as a flashback, like season 1 and 2 was. Maybe not necessarily as like there'll be narration, but if we're already standing in destruction and we're way past the show, we're already going to have to start out with the past to reach all the way up to where we were currently at the first episode.
Maybe we start out by finding who bought the collection and who's listening to the failures. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to flash back. So that's another way they could do it.
Yeah. Because at the auction, Riley and James was leaving when they were saying what the other lot was, until they said there was a bottle of decanted Lestat blood, and then he stopped.
He pivots around.
So nobody at that point cares about the albums. Nobody cares about these recordings. But people were interested in his blood.
They cared so little, in fact, that they did a mock run
burned
and a fake out, and then burned
the presses, right? The first pressings of all of them. But here's the masters. Would you like those? But imagine he put out 100. Was it like 101 albums? How many albums was it?
I think that. I don't have
the idea that he does all of these recordings. And
what is the highest we heard? Like, what is the highest
60,
in the story?
60 something, I think 62 maybe. But I know it was over 100, because I remember thinking, who would buy the album set? You go like, it's a double album. Oh my God, they did a triple album. That's nuts. Dude,
I'm not buying it till it's a special edition release with bonus tracks.
100 plus albums. Yeah, this is so crazy. But of course he would do that. He's over the top.
You think just a little bit? I think that the highest we actually
111 according to ChatGPT.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think the highest we got was 58.
And we've only heard the first 58.
Okay. So we know we're going to hear the rest of it.
Just over half. So
yeah, we will get the rest of that. And then that's going to be this next season.
I'm so excited. I hate that it's such a long way, but I am excited.
I think if we get any more of his backstory, it'll be anything that pertains to why the Queen is drawn to him. So maybe we'll actually see the wolf killer scene. That could be a thing, possibly.
I was gonna say, when Jamie asked that question, I don't think with us going into the future and this season being set basically today. I don't think the show wants to be in 3 different eras. That's just too messy. I think there might be moments they go back. I think the only thing we'll go back for is we'll go back to that basement with the Queen. I think we'll go back to that, and we'll see more of that.
Get more of that,
because you don't get the actor that played Marius. I forget his name. I forget his name, but
The
he's in a
Swede.
million things. The Swede, yeah.
But I will call him that till the day he dies.
But you don't hire him to do that without plans for using him more. So I think we'll go back.
Well,
to that
he
basement.
delivered probably one of the funniest lines in the entire in the entire season. That my ADHD husband was stimming on all night long, walking around. I'm not going to do it because I cannot do it. My husband does a very good impression.
Do you want him to come in and tell us? Because he can come and do it for us.
Where he tells him that he's his special boy.
Yeah.
And the way he says it is so funny. But yeah, that's where he got paid, was for that right there.
So
too good, worth the money.
At the beginning of the series, because this is almost like a new series compared to Interview with the Vampire, right? I was hoping that and trusting Roland Jones that he would do to this book what he had done to Interview. It's a book that's the entry point to these books, but it is not the most fun book. It's okay. There's other books that the Vampire Lestat is the book that everyone consistently says is their favorite book. Well, and Queen of the Damned, those two. Because let's go on an adventure. I like Tale of the Body Thief. That's book 4. I think that season 4 is going to be whatever's left of those recordings and Akasha's defeat. And then I think something else is going to happen and we're going to have an auction. I think that's going to be season, what will that be, 5? That's what I think is going to happen.
That auction is.
No, one thing.
I think Roland is being extremely smart about the way he's pacing this. He's making it so AMC has to because it's like, well, we saw the Queen, but wait, because everyone expected that the Queen was going to be here at the end of this season, right? That was our predictions, and she wasn't. And AMC is like, well, wait a minute, we didn't even do the Queen yet. We need another season.
Right. Well, and I'm going to take issue with Brian's prediction that there's very little, because the showrunners have told us that so long as there's a season 4, you'll see Daniel's turn.
Oh,
they have said that. Yep. It was said in one of the after shows. Okay. So that's something we haven't seen that they'll go back and show.
Well, there's one thing that by the time that season finally drops, because this is a long wait, there's going to be one thing that all of us are happy about, and I am predicting that thing is going to be that we'll get one more song that drops. We'll have this long haul with nothing.
The anthem.
And then we're going to get Make More. Yes.
I think after they drop the live concert, there will be a song that's released.
Maybe. And that's August.
Sometime. It's like exactly 1 month, isn't it? Like exactly.
I want to say it was the 27th, but maybe that's
that sounded right. But in August, guys, so make sure you don't miss that. It'll be on AMC.
AMC's like, we need you to not cancel your subscription just yet.
Not yet.
1 more month.
Not yet, guys.
And then probably in September they'll be like, hey, here's some Mayfair Witches teas.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly.
Gotta have some of that.
Okay, guys. Well, now that the tour bus is parked and our road managers have gone to bed, let's huddle around and get real with our feels, okay? This season has brought us some amazing moments. Jumped from the pages in the mind of Anne Rice, and some that were built on her foundation. I would love to hear what you consider your 3 favorite scenes of the season. You can describe them however you need to, but what are your 3 favorite?
Should we go from third to best?
Yes. Preferably, yes.
Okay, so we should all do 3, then I'll do 2, then I'll do 1. We'll have overlap, clearly, but...
Oh, just do your 3 and then go to the next person.
Okay.
All right, who's going first? I'm going to say David, because you're on the top of the square.
All right. My third favorite scene is Lestat and Louis' confrontation in the attorney's office. Because I think we were just hungry to see them do a scene together. I liked it. I liked the raw emotion. I thought they both did a great job acting in the scene. My second one, similarly, is in the episode 6 when they had the argument in the car. I just thought it was such an incredible job acting, and you almost felt like Sam Reed was having a nervous breakdown. I mean, it was pretty amazing.
It felt real.
Mm-hmm.
And then my number one scene of the season, and I think this will surprise nobody, and probably other people will have it, is Claudia's return.
The seance.
Yeah.
All right.
Not
No, not Fraudia.
Not as
Claudia.
Virginia, yeah.
Okay.
Or we think it was Claudia.
Yes.
So that's my top three.
Okay, Christy.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, my third favorite moment was, and I'm so glad I didn't pick anything you picked. Who knew you were such a romantic, David? You liked all the couple stuff.
Yep.
My third favorite scene was Louis' revenge on the Fang Gang. I just thought it was so, like I had said that episode, it was like Tarantino-esque, right? Like the way they shot it from one camera, him coming in, shooting the people, and going. I thought it was so great, and then like how it plays out in the basement. It was just it was so good from beginning to end. So that was my number 3. Number 2 was episode 1, that entire drug bender from him sucking her blood and getting all super high and ODing, and then then there's the party and they're dancing and bounce, 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 and there's an elevator, and then there's a big fight on the top floor, and then you have to fly out the window. Like that was nuts, that whole thing. But that was my number 2. And then number 1, honestly, is all of the concert scenes, because I waited a really long time and it did not disappoint. The music was great. Sam was great. He had a presence. He has a presence. And I'm just saying, there are going to be a lot of people out there this year that when they get their Spotify at end of the year thing, it's going to be with the Vampire Lestat. So all the concert scenes, chef's kiss. Thank you, Roland.
All right, Brian.
Well, I have David's number 3. The boardroom with Louis and Lestat when they finally face off, and seeing them together, and seeing Louis being cool, calm, and collected, and Lestat just boiling with some great singers. I thought like seeing them back together was gratifying.
Just the way he said Santiago that sold it,
Yes. My second favorite scene is the Hotel Vampire, the stuff on the top floor with him fight. Then flying out. Yeah. And seeing Daniel jump into the fight and them, taking on these people in the penthouse suite. And I'm going to shock you all. I thought the most effective thing in this whole show, and it probably saved the finale a little bit for me. I wasn't as high on it as you all were. But I thought bringing back Louis' brother, I thought that was my favorite scene of the whole season. Because it's a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
He sits down and thanks him, and then of course the ending goes, not that I still would like what y'all are doing.
Yeah,
but
I still wish you were a woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
sometimes.
So do I.
But I thought that was so effective, not only to say like you've done good, but also explaining Louis to him and why their problem has always been not being able to break through that communication barrier that Louis could never
that they
verbalize.
had in the boardroom even.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even in the boardroom, he's still doing that.
Well, and that tied in a lot to my favorite things, like Lestat basically admitting to Louis, okay, yeah, most of the songs are about you. And Louis basically saying, okay, I did move closer, and like their inability to communicate. And I thought that was just a beautiful little chef's kiss moment. And that actor, seeing him back and seeing that, it just tied everything together. And I thought it was an amazing surprise reveal and really a great cherry on top.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very lovely.
Good stuff.
My third is the hotel fight with the arrival of Daniel specifically. Just the quips that were made before the fight started, with the Team Tooth and You know,
Yeah, he's laughing at him, and Armand told the truth. Did he?
Yes, it was almost campy with its humor, and then
the pacing and everything, the angles. It was just like
bam, bam,
what
bam,
is
and
happening?
then it pivots right when he's in real danger. You know, it pivots, and there's Daniel Malloy to the rescue. Your boy Daniel Malloy, with a very Daniel statement, and it was like the Avengers gone wrong. It was fantastic. I got so excited about the whole.
And Sam, and actually Sam the vampire got in there too. We got to see him.
Yes,
and that was so fun
suspiciously
too.
familiar DJ.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know what's not to love about that scene. My second is the return of the spirit of Claudia, because Delaney's performance was the performance of the year. Like, it was just, God, I love her. I love her. She's fantastic. But to see all of these unreliable narrations always selling Claudia's true self short, like just
well, they're always speaking for her, right? Because
she didn't have
when
a voice.
all is said and done, everyone treated her like she was a kid, even when she wasn't no more.
Yep, even when she wasn't.
Even them.
Even when Louis tried to do well, Louis was really just doing something for himself.
Her life was full of mansplainers.
It's just she's sick of that shit.
Like, stop telling people what I thought and felt. You don't know.
But then the pain and the agony of recognizing that, when we see somebody in a movie, like a character that we really like or a show, and that character passes away, to close that off, we very quickly do like a short version mimic of what we do in real life, which is where we place that person in something better than they were in, as a way to manage our grief and our guilt and our fear. And in this case, we all, probably without thought, did that with Claudia's death, only to find out that she's been in hell. She's been in hell looking for the person she loves the most. So, wow, it punched me right in the guts, and it punched them in the guts, and they deserved it. And Delaney is amazing.
They did.
And then my favorite.
You know what? I wonder if we might not see her ghost again.
I think we might.
Because they played that scene happens much later in the books, and they moved it here.
And she did break the circle.
And she did break the circle. And Mary was. She was incapacitated at the time, so she didn't see her run off.
Got her face slammed in there.
Mary Rick, and so and do you think? I don't know. I've heard some inklings that maybe a nice, beautiful bow on that would be that he sometimes does find something of Madeline's and brings Madeline back for her. Maybe
I would very, very much like that to happen for Claudia, because I want that. I want her to be able to have something nice. And then my favorite scene of this season was Lestat's confession to Daniel that only Daniel could see or hear.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was good too.
That's the thing. Picking three.
So hard.
It's so hard. I honestly, I couldn't just pick, because I don't think there's.
But I'm surprised how really little we overlapped.
Yeah.
We overlapped a little, but not
a little bit.
Well, the show had a little bit something.
There wasn't a consensus number one pick.
I think you asked the right question. What were your three favorite scenes? Right. If you said what were the three best, I think we'd all have to agree. Like the seance would have to be really in your top three if it was the best scene.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yep. I mean, it was hard though. That's why I didn't put it as one of my favorites, because it's like it had to happen.
It's a tough one.
Hard,
well,
and it was hard.
Now. Here's the real moment we've been waiting for. That list was hard, but we're gonna jump to a new list that maybe it's easier.
No.
For me, it might have been more difficult. I don't know. But
also equally hard.
We need our high fidelity vampiric playlist. What are your top 3 tracks? And I'm gonna start with David.
No, I went first last time.
Oh, okay, Brian cares. No one's keeping
first.
Tally. What is this? Tally the vote?
Okay, it is Brian, actually.
Brian, you go first, bud.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm cheating though. I'm just going to tell you. My third favorite, go from third first. My third favorite is Plastic Fiends because it's clearly Bowie influenced.
So good.
And I mean, obviously Bowie is one of the avatars that they based this character on. My second is a tie because it has the post-punk goth. And that's a tie between Black Licorice and When I Call Out Your Name, both of those two, which have very
I Call Out Your
post-punk
Name
goth.
goes so hard with the whole Gabriella of it all.
When I Call Out Your Name, though, I could hear Nine Inch Nails doing that song. I really could. But my favorite song it still is The Loneliness. I like the melody in it. And I believe to my ear, that's his best vocal performance, that there's some more tender, beautiful stuff. But if you listen to The Loneliness, his falsetto in that is immaculate. So for me, The Loneliness is my number one.
Okay. Christy.
My third place was a 3-way tie. Because I can't just pick just
if they're all 3-way ties, that's half the songs.
No, they're not. Plastic Fiends, because it's a great song. It's a great song. I love it. If you haven't listened to it, go and find it and listen to it.
Good.
Followed by Brutal Love, which is this gorgeous, haunting melody in it. I just, that one's really great. And then Hit the Lights almost broke me. That one, first time I listened to it, it made me want to cry. I don't know why. There's something in it, just really got me. So those are, but then my second is Black Licorice. Because oh my gosh, when they come in with that, with the violin on it, I don't know why, but I dig that. Maybe I like a fiddle or something. I don't know. I do like bluegrass music. Maybe that's why. It's the Irish in me, guys. I can't help it. But my number one is also The Loneliness. I like the lyrics. I like the message. It resonates. He sounds fantastic. It's the best song. I'll never get tired of listening to it. Any of them, honestly. Who am I lying to?
All right, David.
I'll go now, so Jamie can go last. I'm going to come in at number 3 with Big Boss. Now, that song is influenced by The Scene, and I just loved it as a diss track right to Armand's face. It was great fun, and so every time it comes on my playlist, I laugh. I enjoy it. So,
and you know what? It makes you laugh for different reasons each time, right? You think,
yep.
oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 2, Black Licorice. So we're all high on that song.
That's a good one.
And then number 1, Stained Glass Eyes.
Ooh. I must really be a person who's trying to dodge all the pain of Claudia, because I can. That song is not my favorite because I'm like, I don't know, it makes me a little too sad. Not sad in a, like it touches me personally. It's like I feel bad for her, and that's hard sometimes. But
yeah, it's dark.
That is a pretty song. There's so many good ones, guys.
There's a lot.
Okay, I know one that you picked. Come on.
Well, you probably do. Okay, so
because I didn't put it on my list because I knew you were gonna.
Well, just because we're talking about inspirations here, this song is actually not on my 3, even though I like it. But shout out to Big Bad Wolf, because we've already talked about all the Bowies and the Yees and all of that, but that one's the Cramps, guys. That is like the most crampsiest Cramps song on the entire album.
It is cramping. You know what I mean?
It's cramping. Okay, my number 3 is Butterscotch Bitch. Can't get the song out of my head. It is my earworm on a constant basis. So much that I find myself not realizing I'm humming it. And my 16-year-old going, Mom, could you stop singing that song, please? So it had to be on my list.
It's so embarrassing, Mom.
God, all these dumb vampires. All right, my number 2 is The Loneliness. For all the reasons that everybody here said, there's really nothing I can add to it. You guys covered the basis there. But yes, my number 1 song is Biggest Fan, because I love the insidiousness of any kind of story any painting, any movie, any media whatsoever, that it's like The Cure. It's like The Cure. Everything that The Cure sings sounds so happy until you listen and you realize it is not happy at all. And knowing that everything he says in the song is the exact opposite representation of what happened makes it so dark and malicious, because that's very much in the lines of
it's like
a predator. Like he was a victim to a predator.
There's a lot of like songs that have come out from different artists where they actually write songs about their stalker or their whatever. Eminem did one about one, right? I don't know what that was called. And there's a bunch of,
it only became a cultural term for when you say
that one.
How do you not know that, Christy? You probably say the term, go, oh, well, I stan them.
No, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
You never heard that?
Never.
That's
when
the name of the song.
Is like obsessed with someone.
Stan, right? Okay.
Yeah. There's Stan.
And then there's
doesn't end well for Stan.
No. But there's been some other songs.
Stan and
Daniel Malloy may be your boy, but Stan is not your man.
He's got his girlfriend in the trunk. I mean, it's a bad news.
Yeah, he's not a good dude.
Not good.
But so that's kind of a thing that's happened before another artist. This is kind of Lestat from the point of view of that person who tormented him. So
yes, very
because
much.
usually when people are a bad guy, they don't know they're being a bad guy.
Yeah,
usually.
And I mean, Magnus is deranged enough to.
Well, and that was his reaction.
Realize he's a bad guy.
What did he say? Consent is so 19th century.
So 19th century.
There's a 19th century concept.
It's like of mice and men, right? Those bunnies are so cute. Let me pet them really hard. He doesn't know he's hurting them. Marius didn't know how much he was hurting. The son, I guess. He thought he did him a favor. You're immortal.
You know, Christy, when the
I gave you all my money.
When the International Vampire Association needs a lobbyist to go to Congress, they need to get you on speed dial.
Listen, me and Christine, we will run some stuff.
You could put in work.
They're just like us, guys. They're just like us. I will say, you know what? I said my. Oh no, we haven't done that yet. Okay, continue. Sorry, we're not to our next list, or the list that you said biggest surprises from the books.
Well, that's a you list.
That's a me list.
That's more of a you list. So get right into it. Go there. Okay. Let's do it.
So one of the things I was most surprised about was the fact that in the books, Louis and Lestat, because they deal so much with the whole "Am I a monster? Do I have a soul?" Which apparently yes. Them being decapitated and still being alive. That's why Raglan was so excited. Like this
the man loves to solve a mystery.
Oh my God. So they suffer with this like guilt of like, am I evil, right? Armand lived the servants of Satan. They like think that they have this evil place to play in the world, and that's where they're stuck. And so they very early on
did not help with that.
Right, exactly. And so when they go and hunt, it's more fun for them to hunt another hunter, a predator, right? That's more fun for them. It's more interesting, tastes better. And so that's what they do. But in this, they haven't done that. They've like finished off families, or they're going over here and doing
Bellboys,
this. Gabrielle, they're just
a priest,
and I wonder
an entire Italian restaurant.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if it's a situation where like that's something that he will come to now. Maybe that'll be a new philosophy for him, and Louis will be able to finally hunt together, and they will have appointed like, we're going to do this because this, is a way for us to survive, but also to help the world, and we're, the philanthropy of it all. You got to eat, right? So I hope that comes, because they really are. They have so much guilt. Anne Rice was a Catholic, and she had lots of Catholic guilt. So that was one of them. Then honestly, Gabriella, like everything about Gabriella, because I've said this is not who she is. at all.
This is not your Gabriella.
This is not our Gabriella. I love Gabriella in the books because she is this woman living in a time that's way more oppressive than anything we could think of today. And even though she's rich or not rich, she herself is.
She's
even
landed, but that's it.
She lives this lifestyle. She's miserable. She doesn't like this. This is not great. And she just has too much spirit, but it's just always like, squashed down for her. And so when she becomes a vampire, she gets to like spread her wings and just like no rules matter. Societal rules do not matter.
Liberated.
And and it's really beautiful as a story. So maybe I don't know if we'll get a redemption on her. Probably not.
There ain't nothing likable about this.
They had to make Armand older because that would have given Marius issues when he comes on the show because Marius is messy. But he is also a good character. I don't know what to tell you. Gabriella was a good character, horrible mom, but didn't do all the diddling on her kid. But then they made her kind of this
just as mine.
The asshole of the season, honestly, right? Just kind of like, stop it.
Well, if it isn't Daniel.
And I wonder if we'll come back to a conversation between them where she'll say she did all of this to make him finally come to terms with all of his trauma and whatever. Maybe it's like, finally you call me a monster. Finally you stand up to me. Finally you're a man, or who knows?
So she's like Tiger Woods' dad, like the only reason he won all those tournaments was like from a young age, you're going to be a winner, Lestat.
Listen, I don't know how they can write this to make it better.
Christy just wants Gabrielle to be better.
Listen, Roland is amazing. He's done things no one would ever thought of. These shows much better than it could have been. And so I have faith that maybe she'll figure it out. Or maybe Roland Jones has some mother issues himself. He has mommy issues, maybe.
Well, she hopefully works it out, or I'm just going to keep not liking her so she can try to live with that.
I don't blame any of you. I know Gabriella, if you knew Gabriella the way I knew Gabriella, maybe, but and then the other thing that really surprised me was Armand's big hot mess apology tour. This does not happen in the books at all. By the time he has the concert, they all come together because everybody knows he's having his concert. And it's like from all around the world, all the people he's run into during his long, centuries on Earth come to see him there because deep down, they do all care for him. And even though vampires are kind of like, is it tigers that are not pack animals? Right? They're not. They're like solitary hunters, right? Yes. Vampires are kind of like that. They don't live in a pride. They don't live together usually. Three is a big group to live together.
Under Armand's thumb, then they're a cult.
Right. So they very often will.
To which he admitted running.
Right. Finally. But they'll meet up and they'll connect and then they'll go away and not see each other for a long time because for them time is different, right? So so how they were able to take Armand's story bits from other things, because Armand does have an entire book in this series.
Yes.
The Vampire. It's called The Vampire Armand. And I'm wondering if some of that we might not see because it is problematic, but they've taken kind of like some of the things and put them in this so that we can kind of get him.
Still get
otherwise what would he have been doing this season? Nothing. And you have to have him kind of go through all of that so that he can then be in a place to be one with the coven, right?
Well, if everybody else is healing their traumas, then we've got to make the trauma apparent for him so that it can be healed.
They are forming, whether Lestat realizes it or not, he is forming a coven of people who care about him. And they are going to work together. They will.
Lestat's making his own family.
Avengers assemble.
They're gonna be like power activate. Form of.
Well, is there anything else about this episode or the season that you wanted to mention before we start rounding the corner here?
I'll say it exceeded my expectations. I felt like the end was not what I anticipated, but it may be better for it in the long run.
Sense.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, maybe my expectation was that they were going to wrap it up in a neat little bow. And when that didn't happen, I was a little butthurt by that, but I turned around and got over it. But the season on a whole, it didn't have a bad episode.
It really didn't. And it didn't have anything that felt filler either. They didn't have enough time for a filler, you know. There was a lot.
We saw so much resolution for so many of the characters that I just feel like if we go into the next season, some of that can just, we don't have to go back to that.
Right.
Now we can get new stuff, right?
Now we're going forward.
I'm a big fan of shorter seasons, better quality.
Mm-hmm.
7 episodes feel right.
And I think for the story they told, that they did the right number of episodes. It left us wanting more, but it was quality. I agree that it exceeded my expectations. And I think there were episodes I loved and there were episodes I really liked. There weren't any episodes I was like, eh. You know, like I think it was a good season of TV. And if you watch the previous 2 seasons, the writer, I mean, having this architect know where the pieces are. I mean, there were so many flashback cuts to stuff from the show, like
so quick,
like boom, boom, boom. I mean, like they've been setting this up in a really expert way, and I think if this team stays together, I think we can look forward to more good stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
They seem to know that the material, understand it in a way that I didn't even understand it, and like create this whole new thing that is just still so perfect. You know what I mean?
Major, of course, we've said it already. Major props up for all of the music. The songs are all great. Their performance. Every
Daniel
performance is amazing. That I look forward to the end of the year, you know, in the new year when you get to see like what your Spotify count is or what
you'll have to
your Amazon Music, whatever your where you listen, and it like calculates how many hours you spent listening to what artist.
Spotify. They made me 75 last year.
That's true. Well,
it's going to be
with this hitting your algorithm, then what would it do?
It covers genres, bud. But I do think that it will be fun for us all to see the collective hours we spent listening to this album at the end of this year. And also major props to the marketing team. Oh my God, the levels.
They had
levels.
So much fun with it, right?
With the one night concert and the apparel. And
can you imagine selling that to AMC?
So
what we want to do in New York is we want to do a concert for like 800 people.
I think they.
Do you know how much that's going to cost? Well, yes.
Well, the tickets were free.
I understand.
But it was lottery.
It was just, and it was, they had a bunch of them that were just all press people, all media, social media people, influencers. They knew what they were doing.
Brilliant premiere strategy.
Brilliant idea. Hey, our show's about a rock star. Why won't we do a concert, right? And they gave swag bags and cheese.
Yeah, every note hit for a successful network campaign of a show. Like it was beautiful to actually see it be so professional and so tricky. You know, all the new things, you expect something and you get something different, and it was great work, guys. That was fantastic.
Well, they have said this has exceeded their expectations. Like it's well exceeded.
I'm very glad for them. Yeah, I'm glad it is. It exceeded ours.
They've been showing it on Netflix. Some things I think I don't Netflix. So they've been trying to cross promote it. I think people are finding it. Maybe people will watch this and go back and watch the interview and then go, oh, that makes sense. What's going on?
Right.
I don't know how that would be to watch. That would be odd, but you could do it. And then watch this one again. Everything will make sense.
Again. Yeah.
But you know what? We got to trust Roland. Just trust the process. He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
He's a great driver.
I feel like he has the spirit completely down. The spirit and the soul of this series is there. And I've said it right from the first season. Almost every change I've seen them make was the right change for the medium. So I have no complaints overall on any of that. So kind of hate to do this part because we do have to end. This has been a long podcast. It's been a fantastic season. But we have to end our travels for now. The band is going its separate ways, and we have to leave our
rest up.
fans with nothing but these recordings. You've listened to us here on Crazy Hank or Tally the Votes YouTube channel, but you can also listen to us wherever you find your favorite podcast at the Jay and Jack Whole Enchilada feed. We would love to take the opportunity to thank those Patreons over at Jay and Jack who contribute at a certain level, and they are Ericart Rickner, Joanne with a Plan, Maggie the Magnificent, and Ed the Creepy Poopy Head Mailman. If you would like to become a Patreon and get all of the extra goodies at the Jay and Jack Whole Enchilada feed, then go to patreon.com/Jay and Jack. Now, our coverage of the Vampire Lestat may be done for now, but you can still find all of us here at Tally the Votes in our reality television coverage. We are currently covering season 28 of Big Brother on Thursday nights, immediately following that week's eviction. We will also be covering Traitors, Survivor, Australia Survivor, and there may be a whole new show with Just Us Ladies in the house coming around the corner. So if you...
Because we can't shut up.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on any of that. So do us a favor, hit like and subscribe. It allows us to keep making the things that you want to see. It's been fun. It's been so fun. I know I use that word a lot, but I have had such a blast.
You know what's been really enjoyable? What's been really enjoyable is the multimedia aspect of this that you don't have. That it's like we would talk not only about the show, but about when a new song dropped. And that was kind of exciting and a unique experience that I think Jamie's right. They really found the alchemy there that kept this buzz going for the whole season and had me looking forward to it and had us like, oh, has the song dropped? Oh, what do you think? And I thought it was a really interesting season of TV, but I like the way they incorporated the whole multimedia part of it. And that's the problem. What do you do in season 4? You're not going to have an album
when you don't have that.
Well, they may yet release the Stuttering Wolf Killers, so we can be hopeful.
Get more.
Well, Sam, I was going to say, Sam was doing these songs. They were in the recording studio like 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, that's when he started the voice lessons.
Correct. And then they were working on songs. So whether they were recording them or not, they were already working on these songs. So he's getting tired of singing.
He's probably going to quit acting and go sing.
I mean, he could.
I'd buy the album.
And so I'm really wondering if also they might, because on the after show, did you see their faces when they were talking about season 4? Because they haven't announced it yet. And they were kind of like a little like smiley, like, but not saying anything.
So there's probably a grand announcement coming.
I bet you Comic-Con, because that's coming up. Right, Comic-Con would be a good place to, because they're having a panel there.
I'm wondering if it isn't going to be with the release of the concert.
Could be, very much could be. But I'm wondering if we won't have such a gap before the next season comes. I wonder if they have.
I hope.
Like they've already been filming it, or
like they've already got more under the belt filmed to kind of help.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
I hope so.
That's a long wait.
Hey, if you think about it, if they did another 7 episodes, it would have only been 14.
Yeah, I think they had said originally that this season was supposed to be 8, and for some reason they decided to move where they moved it here to 7, and I bet you that's just only.
I'll bet they took the money for the other episode and filmed the concert. I bet that's why it's 7.
And they said, if you want to have a season 4, if you want to see the concert, you got to give us our next season. AMC.
They have deals. They can wheel and deal things.
Yeah, they can.
Okay, guys. Well, my fledglings and my friends, my companions, all of you here at this table, thank you for trusting in me as we took our first journey into scripted television. I have loved every moment of the season, and I have loved every moment covering it with the 3 of you. We came, all 4 of us, from the roots of Lost. How our connections all were made. This felt like that. There was something here that
because it wasn't
like
just
that.
Watching it. There was something to continue to explore outside.
Yeah, and we have needed something like that for a long time. So thank you, AMC, because that was it was lovely to step outside of the real world and get lost in Anne Rice's worlds. And so thank you guys for being here for all of that. Is there any last words before the time runs out?
Bang, bang.
Make more.
Make more. I love it.